Thank you.
Thank you, Martin.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Mr.
Other citizen comments tonight? I tell you, Jedediah, he just put me in a good mood. I don't know what else to say. I'm set for the rest of the night.
Oh, I'm glad I can help.
Okay, next we'll move to presentations. Item A is Proclamation of Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day, proclaiming March 29, 2024 as Vietnam Veterans Recognition Day, and presenting the proclamation to Mary, and I'm going to butcher your last name, Krimpaski, close, Service for Veterans Chair of the Alice Whitman Chapter of the National Society for the Daughters of the American Revolution, and I think Miss Judy Higgins is with us here tonight.
The memo included with your packet outlined the areas. There was two basins. All of these basins, all of these projects were all called out previously within the master plans. And so we bid a base project, and then as money is available, we add alternates. So we were able to add project within basin 6G, 4C as an alternate as a sewer project, and then replacing the water main in that same street on 22nd. And so sewer funds will be paying for the sewer project, and water funds will be going towards the water project. I think that's about all of the details I have that are pertinent for tonight, but I stand for questions.
Thank you, Director. Councilors? Councilor Spicklemeyer?
Thank you, Mayor. So Director, I was looking at your budget impact statement in here, and it kind of explains what you went over there, but I was a little confused in here about it. Went through the alternates 1 and 2 would require a budget amendment of $1.1 million. Can you explain what all that is? I couldn't follow it.
Yeah, so typically we budget within the projects as they are budgeted. So you have adopted the budget for, we are in budget year 24. We projected out forward. That's what we thought we would have for the project. But since the bid came in at a reasonable level, we have money within our funds. So we will need to do a budget amendment to address those alternates.
All right, thanks.
Councilor Schroeder?
I'd like to make a motion.
Motion's in order.
I move to award IFB-24-001 to Titan Technologies, Inc., and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement between the city of Lewiston and the Titan Technologies, Inc. Second.
Been moved by Councilor Schroeder, second by Councilor Forsman to award IFB-24-001 to Titan Technologies Incorporated, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement between the city of Lewiston and Titan Technologies Incorporated. Councilor Schroeder, would you like to speak to your motion further?
I think this is fabulous. I mean, it's a win-win the whole way. He's got 3 for 1, right? So that's great. Good job.
Thank you, Councilor. Clerk Brocky?
Council President Kleberg,
Aye.
Councilor Schroeder,
Aye.
Councilor Forsman.
Aye.
Councilor Lidke,
Aye.
Councilor Klein. Aye. Councilor Spicklemeyer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Council. Thank you, Clerk Brocky. Next, we move to item B, Resolution 2024-8, concerning encouraging equal opportunity in housing. This is an action item, and we have Melinda Rose with us here, Grant Manager. Melinda, welcome. Please remember to speak up loudly and clearly so those at home can hear what you have to say. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Melinda Rose, Grant Manager for the city. Almost said my last name. So this resolution, we received a grant, or we're in the process of receiving a grant from CDBG CARES program, and the program requires that we have a fair housing resolution, and so that's what I bring for you, is that resolution.
Councilors, questions? Pretty unique deal, Councilor Schroeder.
Make a motion.
In order.
I lost my eyes here. I move to approve Resolution 2024-8. Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Schroeder, seconded by Councilor Lidke to approve Resolution 2024-8. Clerk Brocky?
Council President Kleberg,
Aye.
Councilor Schroeder,
Aye.
Councilor Forsman. Aye. Councilor Lidke,
Aye.
Councilor Klein. Aye. Councilor Spicklemeyer.
Aye.
Passes. Thank you, councilors. Next up, we have item C, bid award IFB-24-004 Lewiston Police Department generator, considering approving the bid award for the Lewiston Police Department generator to Collier Electric LLC in the amount of $210,952, and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract. This is an action item, and we have our Parks and Recreation Director, Tim Barker, with us tonight. Tim, welcome.
Mr. Mayor, Council, thank you for putting this on the agenda tonight. As mentioned, this is for a new backup generator at the police department. We received 6 bids, of which 3 were responsive. As noted, Collier's electric bid was the low bid at $210,952. Just a brief history on the purpose for a new backup generator. The current one is diesel powered. Located at the police department, is insufficient to power all the necessary equipment during an outage. This includes the 911 system and IT server in the basement. So we, as part of this, we've formally advertised to replace the generator with a new natural gas fired generator, and also includes all the required electrical and gas work for installation. Some positives of this is our original budgeted amount was $246,000. So this came in less than that amount by about $30,000. And this was approved as part of the police department's police structures and improvements budget this year. So staff recommends that council accepts the low bid and authorizes the mayor to sign the contract. So I stand for any questions.
Thank you, Director. Councilors?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Lidke?
if we were to move the police department for any reason, would this be able to go with it?
Thank you, Counselor. It would be something that could be moved if the facility moved.
Councilor Spickelmeyer?
Thank you, Mayor. Director, did also in the FY '24, was there a budget line item to do a generator for the fire department as well?
I don't believe we had one in the budget for the fire department. This was the one that we would have spoke to, and we may have both spoke to it as part of our budgets, with both facilities and the police department.
Okay, thanks.
Councilor Schroeder?
Like to make a motion?
Order.
Motion to award IFB 24-004 to Collier Electric LLC and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement between the city of Lewiston and Collier Electric LLC.
Second. Been moved by Councilor Schroeder, second by Council President Kleber, to award IFB-24-004 to Collier Electric LLC and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement between the city of Lewiston and Collier Electric LLC. Is there further discussion? Clerk Brockie?
Council President Kleberg,
Aye.
Counselor Schroeder,
Aye.
Counselor Forsman.
Aye.
Counselor Lidke,
Aye.
Counselor Klein. Aye. Counselor Spickelmeyer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, councilors. Next up, item D, resolution 2024-9, considering approving the Federal Transit Administration fiscal year 2024 certifications and assurances. This is an action item. We have our transit manager with us here, Ms. Suzanne Senior. Welcome. Please remember to speak up loudly and clearly so those at home can hear and we can hear.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, councilors. The certifications and assurances in front of you represent the commitments that the city makes when receiving financial assistance, in this case grants from the FTA. Not all of the certifications and assurances that you see in that packet are applicable to the city, just for those services that we actually provide. Things like tribal transit, school bus, those are also included in the assurances and they don't have to do with us. Note that there are no changes from the certifications and assurances from 2023 to 2024. Just the year itself was changed on the document. And to demonstrate that we comply with the certifications and assurances, the Transit Department, city, has a triennial every 3 years, and we're reviewed by the FTA. This year it was virtual, and they had 12 subject matter experts that were overviewing our entire program, which took place over 6 to 8 months. So I'm just letting you know that we are graded by the FTA, how well we comply, and we got a successful, so that was a good thing last year. So the Transit Department is asking the council to adopt this resolution 2024-9, approving the certifications and assurances. This approval, the adoption of the resolution will allow us to receive grant funding from the FTA. I stand for questions if you have any.
Thank you, Suzanne. Councilors, questions?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Lidkey?
Suzanne, there's several references to CARES Act. Do we
Yes.
see that that's going to change either next year or the year after? Or I'm assuming that money or those stipulations will go away after
So the CARES
2025.
Act funding, the grant itself, it does not have an expiration date. The ARPA funds does, the CARES Act funding does not. We will probably have depleted our CARES Act funding within the next year or two. We just have a residual left. So, so they do apply to us today. We just have a little bit of funding left. And again, there's no expiration date.
For a motion.
Councilor Lidkey?
I'd move to approve resolution 2024-9.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Lidkey, seconded by Councilor Forsman to approve Resolution 2024-9. Is there further discussion? Clerk Brockie?
Council President Kleberg,
Aye.
Counselor Schroeder,
Aye.
Counselor Forsman. Aye. Counselor Lidkey,
Aye.
Counselor Klein. Aye. Counselor Spiegelmeier.
Aye.
Thank you, council. Motion passes. Next up, item E, Transit ITD 5339 Grant Agreement Number C2479LT, considering approving the Transit ITD 5339 Grant Agreement for C2479LT for Intelligent Transit Software. This is an action item, and we welcome back our transit manager, Ms. Suzanne Senior. Welcome.
Yes, Mayor, councilors, this is more of a housekeeping issue. We were awarded the funds last May, and typically ITD submits an agreement within the first month or two of being awarded the money, the grant. And in this case, the paperwork didn't follow through. So I'm now here in front of you almost a year later, asking you to sign the agreement. The agreement does call for a $66,640 local match. That was already in the 2024 budget, so it's in the transit's capital budget right now. So we're just asking to approve what we were moving ahead on, given the confirmation of receiving the grant. We just didn't have the grant agreement follow up.
Councilor Lidkey,
For a motion,
motion's in order.
I would move to approve the FTA 5339 statewide funding agreement number C2479LT between the City of Lewiston and the Idaho Transportation Department.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Lidkey, seconded by Councilor Spiegelmeier to approve the FTA 5339 statewide funding agreement number C2479LT between the City of Lewiston and Idaho Transportation Department. Is there further discussion?
Mayor,
Councilor Forsman?
just a quick question. I'm sure it's a no-go, but when it comes to these kinds of software, I'm assuming there's not a lot of options with other companies as far as, because I know it's costs are raising, but there's not really any extra benefit coming to that cost raise. So is there any other softwares that we can look into that are more reasonable, or is this, we're kind of stuck?
Actually, I just want to let you know that initially we were looking at software that was costing $600,000. So it can be pretty expensive, and we felt that that wasn't appropriate. It wasn't a good use of our funding. Note too that we split this cost with the Asotin County Public Transit, so it's not typically all on us in terms of the software cost itself. So we managed to get the software down in cost from that, and we will bring forward the next council meeting 2 proposals that will total $369,000. It goes over the budget amount just a little bit, and we'll explain that we have transit reserves for that. But we really feel like we've done our due diligence. That's a 3-year cost. So And we want to make use of as much of the grant as we possibly can. So I feel like we've done our due diligence. It's much better than a $600,000 software cost. There is a lot of a lot of IP that goes into the software, but there are very few vendors. There are just a few. They're nationwide and actually worldwide. So
Well, thank you for all your hard work. Appreciate you answering my question.
Council, further questions? Hearing none, Clerk Rocky?
Council President Kleberg,
Aye.
Counselor Schroeder,
Aye.
Counselor Forsman,
Aye.
Counselor Lidke,
Aye.
Counselor Klein,
Aye.
Counselor Spiegelmeier.
Aye.
Thank you, council. Motion passes. Next, we have item F, ordinances. 1, first reading, A, ordinance 4910, considering amending section 36-152 of the Lewiston City Code to amend existing definitions, amending section 36-153, sub B16, relating to specific prohibition of wastewater temperature, amending section 36-159 relating to wastewater discharge permit requirements, amending section 36-160 relating to reporting requirements for dischargers, amending section 36-166 relating to notification of violation and administrative adjustment, amending section 36-167 relating to show cause hearings, amending section 36-171 relating to upsets, amending section 36-174 relating to non-exclusive remedies, enacting section 36-176 relating to affirmative defenses to violations and providing an effective date. This is an action item, and we have our Public Works Director, Dustin Johnson, back with us. Welcome, Director.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Dustin Johnson, Public Works Director. In front of you tonight for your consideration is the first reading of ordinance 4910. I guess I'll take the opportunity to do a little bit of a deeper dive of what this is, what the mayor just spit out there for the last minute and a half. The City of Lewiston operates their own wastewater discharge plant, or wastewater treatment plant, which discharges into the Clearwater River. So we have, all of our discharge is dictated by federal and state environmental guidelines. And so we have to comply with all of those guidelines. One of those guidelines is that we operate a pre-treatment program. And so we have 2 employees that service the pre-treatment program. So what pre-treatment is a way in which any industrial users, and it doesn't necessarily have to be industrial users, it can be anything from dairies, restaurants, bullet manufacturers, machine shops, laboratories, anybody who could upset our wastewater treatment plants, which would then create a problem, and then we would violate our discharge permit. And so we are tasked with all those regulations to have a permitting system within the city of Lewiston. And so Lewiston is per capita, a very high industrial town, which is great, a diverse economy, but that means there's a regulatory side to that. And so each of these dischargers into our system has a permit that's permitted through the city that allows us to inspect annually. They provide lab data that shows they're in compliance. We have to inspect restaurants and bars or anybody who could discharge fats and greases that would plug up our system and cause backups into our wastewater system, and various other compliant reporting. We have to put in an annual report. So this is all dictated through the CFRs, the Federal Code of Federal Regulations, and the DEQ. So recently we had an audit with the Department of Environmental Quality, sat down, walked through our city code, identified a few things that needed to be updated. We worked with the DEQ and our legal department to make sure that the codes were brought up to current standards and approved by DEQ, went through and is approved through our legal department, and so they're up here for your consideration tonight. I stand for questions.
Thank you, Director. Councilors?
Motion.
Motion's in order.
I'd move to approve the first reading of ordinance number 4910.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Lidke, seconded by Councilor Forsman. Was that? Councilor Schroeder, to approve the first reading of ordinance number 4910. Is there discussion or amendments? Favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Clerk Rocky?
Approving the first reading of ordinance number 4910, an ordinance of the City of Lewiston amending Section 36-152 of the Lewiston City Code to amend existing definitions, amending Section 36-153B16 relating to specific prohibitions of wastewater temperature, amending Section 36-159 relating to wastewater discharge permit requirements, amending Section 36-160 relating to reporting requirements for dischargers, amending Section 36-166 relating to notification of violation and administrative adjustment, amending Section 36-167 relating to show cause hearings, amending Section 36-171 relating to upsets, amending Section 36-174 relating to non-exclusive remedies, enacting Section 36-176 relating to affirmative defenses to violations, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Clerk Rocky. Councilors, next we move to item number 2, second and third readings. Item A, ordinance 4907, considering amending section 37-193 of the Lewiston City Code related to penalties under chapter 37. This is an action item. If you have questions for our assistant city planner, Ms. Katie Hollingshead, otherwise I would entertain a motion.
Mayor?
Councilor Schroeder,
I move to combine the second and third readings and waive the third reading full of ordinance number 4907.
second. Been moved by Councilor Schroeder, second by Councilor President Kleberg to combine the second and third readings to waive the third reading of full ordinance number 4907. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Councilor Schroeder.
I move to approve the second and third readings of ordinance number 4907.
Been moved by Councilor Schroeder, second by Councilor Forsman to approve the second and third readings of ordinance number 4907. Is the discussion or amendments? Hearing none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Clerk Brockie.
Approving the second and third readings of ordinance number 4907, an ordinance of the City of Lewiston amending Section 37-193 of the Lewiston City Code related to penalties under Chapter 37 and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Clerk Brockie. Councilors, next we move to 2B, ordinance 4906, concerning amending various sections in Lewiston City Code Chapter 30 related to signage regulations and amending Section 37-140.1 Sub A to refer to the provisions in Chapter 30. This is an action item. Again, we have our Assistant City Planner here, Ms. Katie Hollingshead. If you need to visit with her, otherwise I would entertain a motion. Councilor Spickmeyer.
Motion to combine second and third readings and waive the third reading in full of the ordinance number 4906.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Spickmeyer, second by Councilor Forsman to combine the second and third readings and waive the third reading in full of ordinance number 4906. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Councilor Spickmeyer.
Motion to approve the second and third readings of ordinance number 4906.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Spickmeyer, second by Councilor Forsman to approve the second and third readings of ordinance number 4906. Is there a discussion or amendments? Favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Clerk Rocky.
Approving the second and third reading of ordinance number 4906, an ordinance of the City of Lewiston amending sections 30-2 and 30-8 of the Lewiston City Code to remove references to government signs, amending section 30-5 to add and amend definitions related to signs, amending section 30-6 to clarify that permits are required unless otherwise exempted by this chapter, amending section 30-11 to remove type 4 signs, amending section 30-12C to amend the regulations for signs in residential zones, amending sections 30-13 and 30-14 to limit the number of freestanding and/or ground monument signs in commercial zones, amending section 30-22 to alter relevant timeframes in the appeal process and specifying requirements in filing a notice of appeal, amending section 30-23 to change variance to waiver, amending section 30-24 to clarify the process for relocating or replacing signs installed before October 16, 2017, amending section 37-140.1A to refer to the provisions in chapter 30 and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Clerk Rocky. Councilors, next we move to number 3, on the active agenda. Adoption, approval of ordinance summaries, item A, ordinance 4907, and B, ordinance number 4906.
Mayor,
Councilor Forsman,
motion to adopt ordinance number 4907, 4906, and approve the related ordinance summaries.
Second.
been moved by Councilor Forsman, seconded by Councilor Schroeder to adopt ordinance numbers 4907 and 4906 and approve the related ordinance summaries. Clerk Rocky.
Council President Kleberg,
Aye.
Councilor Schroeder,
Aye.
Councilor Forsman.
Aye.
Councilor Lidke,
Aye.
Councilor Klein,
Aye.
Councilor Spickelmeyer.
Aye.
Passes. Thank you, councilors. Thank you, Clerk Rocky. Councilors, next we'll jump down to Roman numeral 8, unfinished and new business. Item A, city councilor comments. Comments shall not be related to an item currently before the city council or an item that may come before the city council in the foreseeable future and shall be limited to comments, not discussion.
Mayor,
Councilor Forsman.
okay, I'm sure you guys all saw me walking with my fireman hat. So I partake in the Fire Ops 101. This is an opportunity for elected officials, I should say, or the media to kind of walk in the firemen's shoes and see what they go through every day. It's grueling. I am sore. It's mentally exhausting. I am just thankful that there's people that have a drive to want to do that. I, for one, I can't imagine them doing that every day and being sleep deprived and then just waking up to do it again. I have the weekend to relax and let my body recover. They do not. And so it was a great opportunity. I just want to remind everybody to thank our police and our firemen for going out there every day and saving people and making sure that we're safe. I'm also partaking in the police academy every Tuesday night. That's an opportunity to understand our police officers' job, what they go through, procedures they follow, and just overall create a relationship with the police and community. So again, just really thankful that we have such dedicated firemen, police officers that are willing to go out there and do what's right. And so I got to have this cool hat after going through some exhausting exercises. And so I will find somewhere in my house to hang it and wear it proud. So thank you for letting me partake in that.
Thank you, Councilor. Before we move on to other councilor comments, I would like to ask our two public safety officers if they'd please stand and introduce yourselves to the council, because I'm not going to assume everybody know who you are, but just real quickly, Councilor, you may or may not know, but the reason why Chief Cusick is usually here is because he is our sergeant at arms. And that's in our code. He has to be here. So whenever he tries to sneak out of here, we remind him that he can't. He has to be here. So he has designated someone else to be here for him tonight. And Chief Reitmeyer is not with us here, but we have our deputy chief. But if you'd both please just introduce yourselves so they know who you are. They can put a name to a face.
I currently work the Cox Grant in the downtown corridor. I work with homeless, deal with quality of life issues. But of course,
Thank you both.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Lidke.
I would just like to take the moment to thank the city for recognizing our Vietnam veterans as a daughter of 2 Vietnam-era vets, and currently my father, as he deals with the effects of that due to Parkinson's and other injuries that we should honor them whenever possible. So I just want to say thank you to the city of Lewiston for taking that opportunity.
Thank you, Councilor. We thank your father for his service too. Okay, we'll move to item B, City Boards and Commission Liaison Updates, and I'll just go through this real quickly. Councilor Klein or Kleberg, nothing on the Audit Committee, Cemetery, Urban Forestry. Councilor Klein, any quick update there, or Code Board of Appeals
This week.
this week? Okay. Councilor Lidkey, Development Impact Advisory or Disability?
We are hopeful to get development impact going, and Disability Advisory Committee continues to meet and take opportunities to learn more about what people with disabilities in our community face and their needs.
Councilor Forsman, Emergency Medical Services or Historic Preservation?
No, those are all coming up, but they're still looking for the Orchid Award, they're still looking for nominations and, some recommendations for that. So if you brought it, please put that in there, and I'll get back to you when we have our meeting.
Councilor Kleberg, Library Board of Trustees, anything to share with us tonight?
Yeah, we had a meeting the other night, and in fact, right there in the little room. And passed a couple of, I wouldn't say ordinances, but circulation policy was one of them. And there was another, I lost for the second policy, but things that they'd been working on for quite a while.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Speckmeyer, Parks and Rec?
The Parks and Rec Commission meeting was canceled for March due to some scheduling conflicts.
Thank you, Councilor. Public Works Advisory, Councilor Schroeder.
Oh, we had one. Didn't we? Yep, I thought so. We went through, now if you asked me about my upgrading, my restoration of my last two rooms, I could tell you everything, but remembering what I did yesterday is hard. We went through our bylaws and we set the new date and time. And we're getting direction for the budget session and, oh, and the Main Street, yes, that Main Street. So we are busy.
Thank you, Councilor. Mayor comments next. See, Aaron, if you can hear us, you've got a little, there you go, thank you. Councilors, you know, once in a while I get letters and suggestions, comments from our citizens. Whoops. We heard earlier tonight from Martin, so this is a comment that I received from Steve Brenting, and I just thought I'd share it with you. But 150 years ago, they finally got the city of Lewiston mapped or platted. So that is probably one. There may be more of those, but this is from the Clifford M. Ott Collection, University of Idaho Library Special Collection and Archives. And I just thought I'd throw that up there for grins that 150 years ago. So Director Johnson, there's a map for you. I don't know what they had for underground facilities at the time, but it was all running down the street. But it's kind of fun to look at these once in a while and see what our good city looked like 150 years ago and what it looks like today. So anyway, thank you, Aaron, for putting that up. Next, we move to Advisory Board and Commission appointments. Action item number 1, Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee, considering the appointment of Steve Carlton to a 3-year term. I move to approve the appointment of Steve Carlton to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee.
Second.
It's been moved by the mayor, second by Councilor Lidkey, to approve the appointment of Steve Carlton to a 3-year term on the Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee. Those in favor, please signify by saying it. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Next, we have the Library Board of Trustees considering the reappointment of Diana Ames to a 5-year term. This is an action item. I move to approve the reappointment of Diana Ames to a 5-year term on the Library Board of Trustees.
Second.
Been moved by the mayor, seconded by Councilor Forsman, to approve the reappointment of Diana Ames to a 5-year term on the Library Board of Trustees. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Number 3, Historic Preservation Commission, considering the reappointment of Ed King to a 3-year term. This is an action item. I move to approve the reappointment of Ed King to a 3-year term on the Historic Preservation Commission.
Second.
Councilor Schroeder on the end, we'll give it
Yep.
there. Okay.
works for me.
Moved by the mayor, second by Councilor Schroeder to approve the reappointment of Ed King to a 3-year term on the Historic Preservation Commission. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Next up, item E, agenda topics. Councilors, this is your chance to put something on a future agenda. Should you desire, you'll have other chances too, but this is one of them.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilor Lidke?
I would move that we have a golf course update in the May work session.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Lidke, second by Councilor Forsman to have update on the golf course. And I presume the management plan, everything goes with that, Councilor, on the May 2nd work session. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Councilor, if this, Councilor Schroeder?
I hope I get support on this, but I would like to have a work session on the Twin City Foods purchase. We had 90 days on something, and I can't remember it right now, but I'd like to have it on the agenda at some point in time before we lose that to discuss it again and see what we want to do with that.
You put it just in the form of a motion for me, please.
I move to have the Twin City Foods sale on an agenda, a time whenever it's appropriate.
Find some,
Yeah,
okay.
within the 90 days.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Schroeder, second by Councilor Lidke to add the Twin City food property to a future council agenda. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Get it on there. We'll find a date. No further business. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor? Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Kleberg, seconded by Councilor Lidke to adjourn. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. We stand adjourned. Thank you, council.
Hair done?